In this video, let's talk about the character of Anton Ego from Ratatouille. He's one of Paris's most famous food critics, and his opinions are so powerful that they can either make or break a chef's career.
Anyone can cook. What's even more amusing is that Gusteau actually seems to believe it. I, on the other hand, take cooking seriously, and no, I don't think anyone can do it.
Just hearing his name alone is enough to send chills down the spines of even the most seasoned chefs. He is a man of precision, passion, and extremely high standards. When it comes to food, he has no tolerance for anything less than perfection. Now, I wouldn't exactly call him a villain in the traditional sense. Sure, he can be harsh, and his reviews are often scathing, but his motivation isn't to hurt others. Ego is driven by an intense love for food, a kind of love that demands greatness. To him, food isn't just about taste, it has to be extraordinary. In his words, it must transcend mediocrity to even be considered worthy of his attention. Unlike many villains who act out of malice or selfish desires, Ego isn't out to crush anyone's dreams. He's not scheming to sabotage chefs out of spite. Instead, he's a very tough critic, someone who sets the bar unbelievably high. One of the key things about his character is how isolated he is. He's kind of a loner, and there's a good reason for that. His dislike for anything that's average or mediocre pushes people away. He's known for his sharp tongue and almost cruel sense of humor, which makes everyone around him fear him. As a result, Ego doesn't really have any friends. People are too intimidated by him, and his harsh critiques keep anyone from wanting to get close. Ego also has a very thin physique, and there's an interesting reason behind that. It's not just because he's naturally slim. It's because he refuses to eat food that doesn't meet his high standards. For him, food is more than just something to satisfy hunger. It's an art, a passion, and a way of life. His taste buds are his kingdom, and only the finest, most exceptional dishes are allowed in. If he doesn't love something, he won't even bother swallowing it.
I don't like food, I love it. If I don't love it, I don't swallow.
Ego is also someone who carries an air of elegance and sophistication. It's not just in his critiques, but in the way he presents himself, his entire demeanor, his posture, and especially his clothes. Whenever he walks into a restaurant to judge the food, there's an instant sense of intellect and refinement. His sharp words match his chic wardrobe, and everything about him screams that he's someone to be taken seriously. You can tell right away that he's not just a critic. He's a man who sees himself as part of a higher class of thinkers and tastemakers. But there's one moment in the film that completely changes him. It happens when he tastes a simple dish of ratatouille, prepared by none other than Remy, the rat. It's not some extravagant meal with all the bells and whistles he's used to. It's a humble plate of comfort food. But when he takes that first bite, something remarkable happens. He's immediately transported back to his childhood, to a simpler time when food was about love, warmth, and comfort. In that moment, all of his arrogance and harshness fade away. Suddenly, he's no longer the stern, unforgiving critic. He's vulnerable, almost sentimental. He rediscovers the true meaning of food. That's when he delivers one of the most important lines of the film.
Not everyone can become a great artist, but a great artist can come from anywhere.
This moment is a turning point for his character. It's as if a light bulb goes off, and he finally understands what Gusteau's philosophy was all about. It's not about pedigree or fancy training, it's about passion, creativity, and the love for what you do. He realizes that a true artist, someone who can truly create, can come from the most unexpected places. This realization changes Ego completely. He shifts from being someone who tore others down with his sharp, cutting critiques to someone who now encourages and supports.